Hello and welcome to episode 87 of the Green Outdoors podcast. I'm Kyle Green.
I'm AJ.
I'm Ryan.
And this room is a little bit lighter and a little bit less stinky today because Jeff couldn't make it.
Is that why I can breathe?
Yeah, that's why you can breathe. We had the dog running around on the table and we are going to try and have him sit in the seat, but he bit me. So he wasn't having it.
Chilling on the floor.
Yeah,
now,
it's not.
just
I'm not going to
sleeping.
press charges, but he,
You need to know.
Yeah, I was the one that was trying to help him down when he wanted down, and then I'm
To
the
be
one.
fair, the way you were picking him up looked painful as all get out.
I thought that's what the tail was for. No, I'm just kidding.
That's why he has the floppy ears, right?
Yes, I did not actually do that. How much are you enjoying that root beer right now?
Which, that sounds like it's sponsored, but it's not.
Yeah,
This
it
stuff
did.
is great.
No, we are not sponsored at all. Matter of fact, I'll go as far to say we're so not sponsored by this brand that I don't even say it right. I think it's Zevia, but I call it Zevita, as if that's just my thing. And it's root beer, and it's sweetened with stevia, which is awesome because it's not aspartame or Splenda, and it's 0, 0, 0, 0 calories, 0 fat, 0 sugar, 0 everything. It's not supposed to also impact your insulin levels. It's just perfection, and it is the tastiest, fizziest, greatest drink I've ever had.
I originally thought it was like a budget soda, and I've been avoiding it this whole time because of that.
but it's
Like
not.
an off-brand.
It's actually very expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
A little outrageous, but I enjoy it.
Now I know, and I do like it.
Mm-hmm. It reminds you hit it on the nail on the head. It reminds me of the root beer, the foam on the top of A&W root beer.
Yep.
It's just so, but it's clear in color. Like when you look in the can, it's clear. So there's no added coloring or anything like that. It's just a delight.
It's
Yeah,
essentially sweet carbonated water.
Yeah.
With no crap ingredients.
It makes me really happy. And again, we are not sponsored by these people.
But
We wish we were.
Speaking of which, Zevia, give me a shout. I wonder who makes it. Oh, is it like sometimes there's a parent company? No.
isn't that
LA,
Coke brand?
No, it's by
Zevia LLC.
Okay.
Hit me
LA.
up. Oh, geez, they're not going to like us. Anyhow, welcome to the Green Outdoors podcast. We are going to be popping through a bunch of different topics today. And what I like about it, too, is it doesn't have that Diet Pop bad taste.
Mm-hmm.
I hate Diet Pop.
Yeah,
I would
nothing
like to
worse.
note that. I despise Diet Pop with every fiber of my being.
Yeah.
Love this. So, worth noting. First things first. It is May, the beginning of May. Yesterday was May the 4th. Be with
Cinco
you.
De Mayo. Yeah.
Today's Cinco De Mayo, which means you're probably listening to this on the 6th or 7th. But what is Cinco de Mayo? I know Fat Tuesday's the Punchkis.
It's the Mexican holiday.
What are they?
No,
what,
we know that.
What are they celebrating?
I think it's independence.
Something to do with the war.
Let's see.
It could be independence.
Um,
Even it's not about margaritas
Yeah, I mean,
and cerveza.
yeah. It's like I saw your brother actually sent me this, Ryan. He sent me a meme, not the one you're worried I'm going to say. The other one, he sends me a meme and it says Jesus is talking to somebody. He goes, "Hey, so tell me you guys did like a really cool thing for like my resurrection." He's like, "Is there like a big party or a big holiday or whatever?" And then this guy goes, "Well, there's this big ass bunny, right?"
Nice.
so it is their independence.
Okay, so it's like 4th of July for
It's
them.
their anniversary of Mexico's victory over the Second French Empire at the Battle of Puebla in 1862.
All right.
That's it sounds like forever ago, but it's not that long ago.
No.
It's like
It's really not.
170 years or something. It's not that.
It's
That's
a
like
speck in
4
time.
people ago.
A speck in the.
Yeah.
Like some people live to be 120, so it could just be their parents. You know what I mean? Like the lady at the end of Titanic.
I
She's
read
like 1,000.
I read the other day that the last widow to a Civil War veteran died in like 2020.
Ew,
And-
really?
What?
Yeah.
What side? What side? It matters.
I don't know which side, but
1860s
yeah.
to 2020.
Yeah. So if you think about it, it creates a weird scenario where it was a really young person
Right.
with a really old person. But
Oh, okay.
I like it.
There was a one-way relationship straight back to the Civil War up to like a year ago.
There
Or
was-
2 years ago.
There was a game show in the 50s. It was called like Who Did This or something like that, like a mystery show. And they had the last surviving witness to Abe Lincoln's assassination.
Whoa.
And he was like 99.
And how old
Coming
was
on
he?
the-
Like 2 when it happened?
Yeah, so like this was 1950, and I think that happened in 1880 or 60. So
Oh.
I mean, he's probably
In his
10.
20s.
He said he was a kid when he saw it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And he just talked about it. He's like, oh, yeah.
How could they afford to get a kid into that play?
It's
Must have been big money.
It's a play.
I mean, plays are expensive back then. Wasn't that like the thing? I'm just
I
saying.
know,
That
and
what
I've never been to one.
What made it funny?
sounds like
I
privilege
guess
to
not
me.
funny, but apparently on them getting him to book the show, he like had a fall on his way into the venue and like busted his eye. So like during the interview, he's got like this huge patch on his eye.
And it was that day?
It was that day. It happened.
That's
Ironic.
insane.
Yeah.
He still made out better than Lincoln did.
Yeah, I guess so.
In the whole deal, you know, because he.
He's alive.
yeah. I remember we went to the Holocaust Museum when I was in high school. Yeah, 8th grade. And we met Holocaust survivors that were there. But that's even those numbers are dwindling too, where there's a lot less, because it's like that's getting to be. I mean, we're in the 20s now.
Yeah.
That was in the 30s and 40s.
Yeah, 40.
I can't imagine there's many left.
No.
45. So yeah.
At all. Yeah, I when we went in 8th grade, the guy got outrageously upset with us about having the privilege of using the internet.
We got upset with you, like Mr. Puntman at our premiere party. Upset,
yeah.
Like where
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
you have no idea why the guy's yelling.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like that. It was like he was so angry at us for having the internet and he didn't have it. And
To be fair,
to
it
this-
would have been helpful for them.
I probably
Like, hey guys, you won't believe what's happening.
probably,
like-
but still it's like sorry.
Yeah.
Some
Sorry.
13-year-old.
80 years later, I'm really
And then
sorry.
The other class that was there, so we had 2 groups go. The other one, a different guy, while he was talking, he must have been shaped physically just right for this. His pants fell off and just went straight down to his ankles in the middle of talking.
That's rough.
Yeah,
What do
probably
you-
not
what-
as rough as
what
the
do you do?
Holocaust, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
he's
so.
had worse.
Yeah.
He's had worse.
He's like, yeah, take him down.
I remember as a kid, we know I ask questions no matter what, and I did this as a kid. And the guy that was cutting my hair, my grandfather used to take me to get my hair cut all the time with him. And it was awesome because we go get Dunkin' Donuts, and we get our hair cut, and then I always got like baseball cards, and then I would come back, and then normally I would mow the lawn, and he would pay me $20 to mow the lawn, which then $20 was like a big deal.
deal.
So I had a whole day going on, you know? And
Yeah.
the guy that cut my hair, I think his name was Dave. It was Dave or Joe. I know, real original. But I can picture him still. But when his dad also cut hair, and his dad cut my hair before this guy did. But when his dad was cutting my hair, I had seen that he had numbers on his inner arm, and I was like, "Why did you get that tattoo?" Like as a kid,
Yeah, because it's strange.
yeah, why did you just get numbers? I mean, nowadays that would make the most sense now compared to like the girls that get like Japanese word for fish on their arm or
Yeah.
something, and they have no idea. So I guess the trend got worse. But
Yeah, the old guy's like, you're going to learn about atrocity today.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. But I think I can't remember what his answer was. I remember being in the room with my mom and grandpa and everyone talking about it after, and I remember it being brought up that I asked, but I remember he covered it after he answered me. like
Don't look at that.
yeah, and I never put it together until like I was in 8th grade, and I thought back and was like, oh my goodness, that's what that was.
Yeah.
Just a weird experience as a kid. You have no idea like what you're around as a kid. You're just navigating the world.
Mm-hmm.
That also reminds me of another funny meme that I said, or there's a TikTok, and it's this kid going, and he's like dancing in the car and stuff, and he's like, me asking my mom for McDonald's, having no idea what our family's financial situation is, and the mom's driving like frustrated, and he's like, bah, 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 and he's just in the car enjoying himself, and I was got a kick out
You
of
can
that.
relate to that?
Yeah, yeah. What were you gonna say, Ryan? Sorry.
I don't remember.
Yeah, we were gonna talk about turkeys, weren't we?
We were. So anyhow,
Who let
how's
the
your
kid-
how's your turkey search going?
Who let the kid with ADD run the podcast? The turkey search is going not well. So I have about 40 acres that I get to hunt near here. Actually, it's an hour away, and I've killed a lot of birds there. You've killed birds there. We filmed there before, and when I go, they're not there. When I'm not there, they go. So I've just had really dumb luck missing them, and then a bunch of stuff has come up, and then I got sick, and getting out there has been difficult. So I only have 2 days in the field, and none of them have produced any turkeys. But both times, the day before and after I was there, they showed up. So
Man.
if you're
You don't
wondering,
even need a guide there. It's just going to happen.
Yeah.
It's kind of ironic too, like finding time to go turkey hunting. It's ironic because we're hunting and fishing show, but finding time to go hunting is the difficult part.
yeah, I'm like,
For recreational.
yeah. Well, yeah, because I'm hunting turkeys for fun. It has nothing to do with the show at all.
Right.
Because we just released, so it's just, yeah, it kind of takes the zip out of it. But Pete told me that he saw the day before and the day after I was there, right by my blind, about 5:30 or 6 o'clock at night, 3 times walk by together, both days. So right across the field, there's a farm field out there, and they've been going out there. So I do think if I go back to the tree line there and set up, put out some decoys on the field, I should be tucked away enough that I should have a pretty easy shot. But.
Were you in a blind last time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the roof caved in. Thanks, Pete.
Why?
It's
While it
just that
happened
it's
or
the
when you
same
got
blind
there?
that you and I have been hunting in the last 6 years.
Oh.
And I think he leaves it out there year round. So she's had her time. The roof
yeah.
the roof
Snow.
the roof is now a tarp.
Oh, okay.
So it actually
That's
kind of
years.
adds like this cool little aura inside because the tarp is blue.
Blue.
Yeah. And like inside it kind of gives this little glow.
little
It's kind of fun being in there, you know. I like glowing
like a
things.
fort.
I'm tripping in there.
Look at our podcast room. It's kind of like being in here. It really is. But yeah, so my turkey search has not come to a conclusion yet, and I'm mad just because I really want to eat them.
I was thinking about it the other day that turkeys have notoriously good eyesight, and that makes it difficult to hunt them because they just see you right away.
Yeah.
Unless you're very still or in a blind and all dark and everything. And I was thinking about how sucky it would be if they could also smell like a deer could. If they had both, you'd be done. That'd be they also have a hard time with the fact that they get judged far harder than any other animal because they get judged by their tail, they get judged by their general size, they get judged by their beard, and they get judged by their spurs. What other animal gets judged in that many different categories?
Yeah, you really gotta hit them all.
Yeah,
To be the good one.
Men.
that's true.
I was gonna say women, but then you just get killed for saying it.
Yeah.
Because I know Ryan, I judge
Could
you,
go a few
Ryan.
different ways.
Ryan, I judge you on your beautiful eyes. I judge you on your fake teeth. I judge you on your dump truck of a booty. It is true though; they do get judged pretty hard. Yeah.
I how do we rank deer, their antlers, and body size?
Body size.
Although
Yeah.
body size is kind of like,
Yeah, I mean, I shot. So when I got my elk a couple years ago, in October of a few years ago from that episode, there's 2 other people there that also got elk, and my antlers were the smallest, but my body was definitely the biggest, and that like didn't matter to anybody.
yeah.
You know.
It's just I don't know. I just find it interesting.
know, the
that
meat was cool, though.
We've decided to rank turkeys or the iridescent colors on them. That's another one.
I like
glow.
that. I did that one turkey. Where did we just see that one turkey mount that was bonkers? I think it was
Bass Pro.
at
it
the
was
thing in
crazy.
Springfield. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Was
have
that Bass Pro or the one here when we were doing the?
No, it was in the trip.
Yeah.
It was in Springfield at their headquarters. You don't remember, but I do. Remember when you told me where it was?
I think that was here
Okay.
because it was in the glass box.
It was here. He's right. It's right by the archery range.
Is
Yeah.
it?
It is.
We were
He's
shooting
dead
that
on.
video.
He's right. I told you, AJ. Let him talk. Sorry, Ryan. Sorry. In the Auburn Hills, right by the archery room at Bass Pro Shop, there's like the sweetest turkey mount I've ever seen.
It's really nice.
A lot better than the turkey mounts we got done.
With my tail feathers are on Jeff's turkey, and Jeff's turkey tail feathers, which are like super rare because they have the white tips on them, are on my turkey. And Jeff has this monster turkey that's
Has a
beautiful, and it got messed up.
has a 2.5-year-old tail on it.
Yeah.
We
That
took
was
we took
rough.
it to someone local, and then we gave them both birds, and then I don't even know how they mixed up the tails, but they put the wrong tails, and we know this because of picture evidence of what they looked like.
Well,
when we
they
took
have
'em in.
years worth of work on the books that they, you can't. They're always busy for you, so you get what you get.
Well, it's
They
funny.
told us 6 months, and it was just short of 3 years.
Yeah.
There's so much work. Stop sending them birds.
And it was funny too because when we got Jeff's mount back, we posted pictures because it's an impressively sized
The
turkey.
turkey's nuts.
The turkey is huge. And then someone pointed it out from the kill picture versus the mount pictures. Like,
That's not the same bird.
Yeah, they're like, well, what's up with the tail feathers? And we're like, that guy stole them.
That's
He
how we-
stole the tail feathers.
That's
And
how we
then-
found out.
Well, then we Googled that the tail feathers had the white in them, which suggests they're very old. It's a very old bird, and it's very mature,
Yeah.
and those are very, and they're worth a lot of money.
They're like
those
sought
tails,
after.
Those tails are sought after. So we see that, and then we're like, hey,
Guy?
yeah, what the? So that was kind of funny.
And then we noticed on my turkey mount, it was on there.
Yeah. Then the tail is on Ryan's. We have had nothing but bad luck with.
Although he did have good prices, and we paid for a good price.
That's not
Oh,
true.
you got a deal?
$600.
For a turkey mount, that's run of the mill average. I think.
When we looked it up, that was the lowest around us.
Yeah, there was 700 and stuff, but I mean $100 difference to have. I mean, you can see like
Right tail feathers.
the bird's all jacked, dude. We'll post pictures so you guys can see it. Tell us what you think. Do you think it's a good mount? I don't know. I don't know.
He does like competitions too. This guy, we're just ripping on him.
Yeah.
He does like turkey mount competitions.
He when I went there, like I don't consider myself a mount connoisseur, so I get there and I'm like, okay, it's a turkey. I got to take it and I'll put it in the back. He's like, I'm really sorry. It's not perfect like I'd like it to be, and this and that. And I'm like, I'm sure it's fine. It is what it is. And then I get it home and I'm looking at him like, there's a wire hanging out. There's all
man.
kinds. He's like, what did he do to the neck? And that is Jeff's fault. The neck is pretty bare, but that's because,
There was no feathers left.
yeah, the way he choked it out, I don't know what he had going on, but he shot it and then chased it down, and then sometimes it's not the quickest, and I don't know. All the feathers off the neck were gone.
And he didn't even want to get the thing mounted. Remember when he said that? We're like, you got to get this mounted. He's like, nah, I don't know.
Well, yeah, it's the biggest turkey you'll ever see in your life, but okay, don't get mounted. It's
Yeah.
an 1 3/4 spurs. The beard's only like 10 and a half, 11, which is still long. And then, well, the tail feathers aren't really there anymore. Maybe he's right. When it's all
he saw
done,
it coming.
yeah, he's like, I don't know, man.
Without a doubt, though,
I had a lot
it's
of
the
bad
largest
karma.
turkey you've ever seen.
Yeah, in Michigan for sure. The other cool thing going on right now, and possibly the reason why I don't have a bird yet, is the spring walleye run on the Detroit River. Jeff and I went down a week ago, and we did some fishing. We got down there like 5 o'clock. Got all set up and everything, and then the guy at the front gate was like, at the boat launch, at the St. Jean boat launch on the Detroit River, which is where we took Granger Smith fishing too.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, okay, but make sure you're out of here by 8. I was like, 8? Like, it doesn't even get dark till close to 9 right now, 8:30 probably. I'm like, 8? Why would we be done at 8? And he's like, we're closing the gate, so if you're in here, you'll be closed in. And I was like, why? I was like, well, can I go to... I'll leave and go one of the other boat launches that are open longer. He goes, nope, we're actually open the longest. Everyone else goes at 6, which I found was a lie. That was not true. But irregardless, and if you look at the website for this place, it says they close at 10, not 8. So I don't know if he was just full of crap or whatever else, but then I talked to people, so I ended up posting a thing online. Jeff and I went out, and I got some tips from people on what to look for. And on the Detroit side, the water was crystal clear, gorgeous blue. And Jeffrey bought us Canada licenses, so we jetted over to the Canada side, and we found dirty water in like 25 to 35 foot of water, and we caught a bunch of fish. It was really awesome. Like, we were catching walleye pretty well.
So did you get a chance to fish on both sides, or you just go straight to Canada?
We went straight to
Just
Canada, and it seemed like everyone else was too. There was like 4 boats on the Detroit side. There was like 70 on the...
Oh, so
on the
people knew
east.
where to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And we got in a line, and we met some other people while we were out there that were, we met a nice older couple too. And they ended up fishing near us because they didn't know where to go. And I was like, well, we got some direction, so you can go with us, And yeah, Jeff and I did well. He kept beating me, though. He beat me out pretty good.
How many were you able to keep, if any?
I think we kept 4.
Okay.
4 or 5. Yeah, but we only had an hour and a half to fish.
Gotta get out of there, man.
Jeff had a remarkable amount of fish get off at the boat. Like, I don't know.
Like sloppy technique or just happen to happen?
Poor, like, I said, I'm like, set that hook, man. Set it.
What was he doing?
Refusing?
Just kind of.
I don't know. I'll bash on him because he doesn't actually smell, and he isn't actually stinky, and he isn't actually like those things. But I don't want to pick on him when he's not here for things he doesn't do. But he just doesn't always set the hook, and it drives me he's slow to respond to things. And I'm like, set the hook, because he 2 got off, and I started to lose my mind.
All right.
And then he started to catch so many, and I'm like, what is it that you're doing though? Because you're hooking up with him, but you're not getting him into the boat. And I was like, do you want me to grab the net on one of them? He goes, no, I'll just get the net. And then when he was like fiddling, trying to grab the net, the fish got off, and I was like, I should have just helped him. So we ended up like hooking 8 and keeping 4. So
wow,
not proud of that.
You cut him up already?
I had him do it because he wanted to keep it for he didn't have any fish, and he's been doing the diet, so it was good for him to have it. And his dad we went over to my parents after and sat and visited with his dad, my parents, and then just talked and stuff. And then his dad wanted some of it, so I think they cleaned him together.
Okay.
So I just let him take the fish, and so I mean I can go out more than he can. So
right.
But the point of this was, so while we were there, the guy goes, there's a hard close at 8. So at 7:45, everyone's trying to pull their boat out, and everyone's like mad rushing. And then the guy's standing at the gate waiting. He can't wait. Yep. He's like an older guy, so you can't say anything either. And he can't wait at 7:59. He's getting ready to walk it close. He'll lock you in. He'll love it.
He will love it.
You know?
What happens if you get locked in?
Well, that's what my dad goes. He goes, I don't think it'd be too smart not to go down there without bolt cutters from now on.
That's awesome.
It's true.
Yeah. It's like you can't get trapped in there.
Are you allowed to do that?
So then
trap people in?
So
yeah.
That's what I was trying to
Isn't that kidnapping?
Is this a rape?
Well,
It's rape.
closing when it's not listed you're closing at that time, where's the line there?
Yeah, I don't know. The other thing is, why are they doing this? Because it wasn't that way. I used to fish till well after dark, right? So
we were sturgeon fishing, and we were granted it wasn't the same launcher in the same area, but it was still a public launch.
Yeah, that's well, St. Jean's technically private.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that changes things.
Yeah, it's but all of them on the Detroit River are private, I believe. So I think there's like a park one and stuff, but even that's...
Dude, you'd make bank if you owned a boat launch there.
That's
Holy
true.
crap. $20 $10
Yep.
a truck just to take money all day.
Yeah.
It's like owning a parking garage.
So I made a post about it, that we caught some fish and this and that, and I said, I'm sure that they'll blame COVID, because I used to fish till 10, 11 o'clock at night, and now it's closed at 8. And, we would have got down there early otherwise, or maybe didn't go because we only had like an hour and a half, 2 hours to fish, by the time you get to where you're going and get set up and do everything. And someone said the reason why they did that was because of crime. And they're like, and I'm like, well, has there been like, in the last 2 years, has there been a substantial uptick in crime at boat launches?
I mean, they're going to use Detroit as the scapegoat. Like, it's Detroit.
Well, or Canada.
Yeah.
People are moving stuff back and forth.
Right.
Maybe they're smuggling.
You know what I think? I think it was, I'll be honest with you, like, they're not in great neighborhoods. Like, you drive through some sketch to get to the boat launch.
You do.
Really?
It's true.
But that being said, okay, so you drive through sketchy stuff to get to the boat launch. I don't think that's it. I blame the fact that I bet they got together like gas stations do, where if like all the gas stations raise their prices together, then everybody gets to charge more. So if all the boat launches are like, hey, I don't want to be paying people to stay in after 10 o'clock or something like that. Let's all just say 8 o'clock and screw everybody. And then they got to do it. Because
it's possible.
You know what I mean? Like if they all got together and worked together.
Or maybe it's the same guy who owns it all.
That too.
Some rich guy who's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay you as long.
Because like what level of crime? Because everything is at the risk of the person that goes and parks there.
Plus in Detroit, there's a lot of places you can go do crime. Like, what are you doing? Like duels in the parking lot with guns or what? What's happening?
Duels?
Like, I don't understand what the crime is.
Sir, you stole my walleye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not buying it, though, that it's crime.
I guess they could break into cars while you're out.
Maybe, but that's
anywhere.
That's at your own risk.
Right.
To be in Detroit.
Yeah, and exist down there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. But it's kind of sucks. But anyhow, the Detroit River run goes normally through mid-May. It's good. And then closer to June, it starts to get really good in the St. Clair River system as well. And that's kind of, I prefer to go there. I really like the St. Clair River system better, but I never do as well. I do catch a lot more fish on the Detroit River. And maybe it's because I know where to go on the Detroit River and not as well on the St. Clair, but I do
And
catch
it's cool
more fish.
fishing with a big city in the background.
It really is.
You know?
You're like sitting there going right by, you know, the, what is it, the Rensen?
Yep.
Go
What'd you say?
the Rensen?
Renaissance Center.
Oh, Rensen.
Right there. And yeah, it's like surreal. It's like a weird mix of city and there's like a bunch of guys in walleye boats floating down downtown.
Well, yeah, it's like Detroit and then Canada right there, and the water's beautiful.
Yeah,
go on a good day.
Some of the houses on the Canada side are so interesting looking. Like they look
on the water.
Yeah, they're just very interesting.
That's Windsor.
There's some nice houses on the U.S. side too.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty impressive. Oh, I just saw that they launched a cruise ship on that side of the state, on our side of the state, and it was just built in this year. And it's just a massive cruise ship that's going to go up and down this side.
The Detroit River?
Yeah. Well, I think it goes from.
Is it like the one that already exists, or?
The picture I was seeing is like it's a cruise ship, like up to date, new,
with like a mall on it. Like you know how
mall?
Yeah, like you go on a cruise ship nowadays, they got a mall on them.
I didn't read about it too much. Let me see if I can look it up.
Okay.
So similar to the.
I mean, that's a short cruise, though. I mean, I went to Jamaica on a cruise. That's what I'm.
So I don't think it's that big. I don't think it's like one of the because I don't know. Okay, New Great Lakes Viking ship Octanus.
That's a sweet name.
Cruise ship.
Just because it's got anus in it, you know.
They hate
all the best
the
names
anus.
have it.
Detroit, Michigan. A brand new cruise ship docked in Detroit on Tuesday morning as part of inaugural Great Lakes cruise with Viking Cruises. The all-new Viking Octanus docked at the Nicholson terminal on Tuesday morning. The ship is a Polar Class 6 and is a brand new expedition ship built to explore remote destinations. Viking offers several Great Lakes cruises along with the longest lasting 15 days going from Toronto, Ontario to Duluth, Minnesota. So it's going to go all the way up and around.
I'm like, huh? Toronto's still inland, though.
I feel like
it's going to go up the river, probably.
Oh,
it's
interesting.
gonna be a tight fit.
Yeah,
It
that's
will be a tight
I'm
fit.
going to say, like, how big
Could
can
be
it
cool.
be? Also, what does it do in the winter? Although it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm in.
It looks like a cruise ship.
Let's
It's not
do
as
it.
big.
Set sail.
So, if you want to go on a cruise on some
maybe we
fresh water.
Get the girls going.
So
Yeah.
when we were in Alaska doing the salmon stuff, the story was that they come in from the ocean, plant their eggs in the rivers, and then go out and then come back in. What's walleye doing?
So they leave the different lakes. So St. Clair River, or St. Clair, Lake St. Clair is where they're coming from into the Detroit River.
Okay.
So they're swimming. You've got the St. Clair. I'm sorry, actually, you've got the St. Clair and Lake Erie, right, at both ends. It's Lake Erie at the other end. Yeah. So those are that's where they live, and then they're coming into the river to spawn.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yeah. I think. Let me double check that real quick.
Because you're saying like it's full of them. They're rushing it right now, day by day. You know, thousands and thousands of fish a day.
It's just crazy.
Similar to like what it was in Alaska.
Yeah, except the advantage to Alaska is the rivers are small enough that it squeezes them in. So you.
Oh, okay. It's funny because people in Alaska we jacked to do walleye fishing
see what
here, and we jacked
Vice
to go
versa.
up there. Yeah.
See. Detroit River.
Okay.
There's Lake St. Clair, and there's Lake Erie.
Okay.
So they're rushing it to spawn in there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, it's got the fast-moving, clear water, cold, deep, and rocky bottoms. That's what they look for.
Okay.
Those rocky bottoms, and then Rocky Mountain oysters. That's a very different thing.
The Greenway Outdoors is brought to you by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Motor Trend's Truck of the Year for the 3rd year in a row. And by Bass Pro Shop and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here. Tracker Boats, fish the finest. And by these other fine sponsors.
Trust isn't built in a day. It's built over time. the early hours and the late nights. It's built by doing the work and pushing the limits every day. Because the promises we make are the promises we were built to keep.
If you'd like to help support the Greenway Outdoors, please like and comment on this podcast and subscribe to all of our channels.
So some of the other side missions, like a video game you can do
I was just gonna say, yeah.
in the springtime, other than walleye and turkey. This is, I mean,
It is a side mission. That's well put.
yeah. I guess if you're up, well, also this is the time of year people go up north in Michigan.
Mhm.
They start making their way back up and enjoying the outdoors again. And one of the reasons they go up or start getting outside is Morel Mushrooms. I have been Morel Mushroom not in recent years actually as much, but as a kid, my dad would bring me a lot to go Morel Mushroom hunting up north. Yeah, and man, we would kill it. It was great.
Is it a Michigan thing?
No.
I don't think I've ever heard of it till about 7 years ago.
There's other states that do it. It's just I think
They're actually really good in the South. Not the South, like Missouri. They get them like the size of your frickin' head.
Yeah, there's there's websites too that is a map when the season starts coming around. You can like say where you found or like that you're seeing them in the general area of
geocaching. For
yeah,
mushrooms.
essentially, it's like letting people know and you can, if you pay attention to it, you can see it moving its way north as it starts to get further into spring.
Okay.
Because of the melt off and everything, but Michigan's a good place for morels because a lot of the trees we have, morels like, as well as we have the right like climate for it. They say you need moisture because mushrooms are a fungus, but you need snowy winters and rainy springs, and we have that.
Yeah, we do.
And you need soil that is good at staying moist, but isn't like doesn't drain well.
Right.
And Michigan's kind of sandy-ish, it drains well, and there's specific places around the state you can go, but a lot of people don't want to give up their spots because it's kind of like once you find it, you wouldn't ask someone where they go deer hunting specifically if they're on public land, like, oh, where are you going for all the deer?
It's
or
like
where's your fishing spot?
Yeah, or
stuff like
ducks.
that. It's like people hold it tight, but some of the advice I read was talk to old people about it because they're usually willing to give up their spot because they're not doing it as much.
Yeah, so use old people. Got it.
Yeah, they're digging their graves, so who cares?
They will be eaten by fungus very soon.
So some of the trees that you should watch out for are oak, elm, ash, and aspen trees, as well as burn sites. And on the edges.
When you say watch out for.
So watch out for those. Know your trees, and look for those trees specifically because the morel mushrooms tend to grow around those trees.
Okay.
As well as burns or on the edges of wooded lots, in those places that have the right moisture and everything. And along with the right moisture, you also need ground temperature. Ground temperature, I think, should be around 50-ish degrees, and you can usually look that up, the temperature of the ground, or you can get a ground thermometer.
Yep.
Plug it in. And then the outdoor weather, like the temperature of the air, should be 40 at night and 60 during the day. That's roughly the temperatures it needs to be to create the right environment for morels to grow. So that's about right now for us.
And this is why you're saying right now, because there's only a short window.
Very short.
Where you can find them.
You're not going to be finding them in July.
No. I mean, I'm sure it's happened.
Right.
Maybe. If you go, I don't know. I'm sure it's happened. Let's see. Oh, that's it. Okay, so Verpas. Verpas they look like a morel mushroom, and they look like a morel mushroom. But if you eat them, it's not going to end up good because they're really bad for you and poisonous, I guess, and they can kill you or give you seizures or make you super sick, and people have been super messed up by them. And the difference between a morel and a Verpa is, when I looked it up, there's actually quite a few differences, but just based on looking at it, the Morels there's the stalk that comes up out of the ground, and then it has the mushroom cap on top. So the stalk will immediately turn into that mushroom cap on top, come out, and then move up. Versus the Verpa has the stalk, and the cap essentially like sits on top of that. It's like a skirt.
The old term is like everyone always says, like, if it's a classy girl, you won't be able to see up her skirt, so you can eat it. If you can see up the skirt easily, you shouldn't. Well, I didn't mean like, I guess. Hey-o. No, but if she's a classy girl, you won't be able to see up the skirt, so you're safe. But if you can see up the skirt easily, then you shouldn't eat it.
You should not.
Should not.
It'll
should
kill
not.
It'll actually
the Verpa.
It'll kill you.
It's a Verpa.
Okay.
But when I was doing more research on it, they were saying that the Verpas, if you're not good at recognizing a lid sitting on top of a stalk, which seems relatively easy to me, you can also identify them by how delicate they are. They're much more delicate than an actual morel, and they'll almost like wither away and fall apart in your hands.
It's almost like a melting feeling.
Yeah.
The way
they're
that
like super mushy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the other thing is if you cut them open, say you picked it thinking it was a morel, and you cut it open, on the inside of them, there's usually a cotton
spore type.
Yeah, it's like a cotton candy type material in the stalk. And so that's another
stringy-ish.
Yeah, kind of like that. That's another indicator of it being really bad for you. So anything with mushrooms, be super careful not to eat something if you're not absolutely sure.
So following all these lessons, Jeffrey and I would go search for them. Another hot zone, but I read pros and cons on this, is old apple orchards.
Yep.
But the thing is, I read that you should stay away from them after I spent 4 years consuming everything I could find on them. And it said the reason being is because like all the fertilizers and stuff that they used to put on the trees, it like is in the soil and stuff like that. So it's not, the mushrooms could not be great for you because of that. But I've been eating them. So, but Jeffrey and I came across these ones that to me looked sketch.
Yeah.
Because the way the lids were. And they were called half-free morels, and they look sketch as hell.
There's another name for those too. I found out.
What is it? Is it like skank skirt?
No, it's kind of like that though.
Yeah,
it's called Peckerheads.
Oh, fun, fun. So, me and my buddy Jeff, couple of Peckerheads out there looking for Peckerheads. But yeah, the half-free ones. If we got a picture of those, we should show that too. Those ones trip me out because I'm like, well, and Jeff's just eating them. And I'm like, man, I don't know. I get that you're supposed to be able to eat them, but they
it's pretty close.
Yeah, man.
So do you want to explain how it looks?
Or we'll show the picture, but go ahead with.
So you have the morel where the cap is attached at the base of the stalk is attached at the base of the cap, and then you have the Verpa, which is just essentially sitting on top of that cap. And then the half-free Peckerhead is
so funny.
Is the in-between guy. So it's not sitting on top like the Verpas are, but it's also not connected at the bottom like the Morels are. It's
you can see why it freaked me out.
And it's every plant grows a little differently. Like if you've ever seen a morel mushroom, they grow funny. So I could see where it's like it's really close to the top, man. It looks like it's just sitting there.
Right.
I don't know if it's down far enough. So I guess the other indicator could be the cotton-like substance inside, but even then, it's like, well, maybe
the other thing,
what if this one doesn't have it?
The other thing that freaked us out was like the prevalence. We were finding like hundreds of the half-free ones.
Okay.
And like you start to feel like, because of the number you're finding, you start to feel like this is something. Like it's too good to be true. You know what I mean? Like this can't be right.
They did recommend that though. And some of the stuff I was reading, that if you find one morel in an area, you should spend lots of time in that specific area within like a 50-foot radius.
Right.
Just look, because there's much likely to be more based on how fungus grows. The spores being sent out from its source aren't likely to go super far. So if you find one and then you walk 100 yards, you could be dead in the water. You're not going to find any for the rest of the day. Whereas if you just stayed there a little bit longer, you could have.
Is there anything to that? I know they have like morel bags that you're supposed to pick them up, and it's like they're like porous bags that have like holes in them. So when you're walking around,
it's kind of like a net.
It like lets out the spores hypothetically, but I read that was a myth. Is there any truth to it?
I don't know. I'm sure. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah,
I'd like to.
I'd
like to hope it's true.
I also know people say that you don't dig it up at the root. You like leave the bottom of it in the ground, and that's supposed to be good too.
Yeah. Anytime I've done it, it was just like you would just go down to the dirt with your fingers and then pinch it off and leave the rest on there. I know some people kind of dig the whole thing up, but yeah, we never did that. Another trick my dad taught me too when I was younger. I don't know if this actually works or if it's just something you say to a dumb little kid, but he would tell me like. He'd be like, "Go sit in traffic." Yeah, go play in traffic. When we were walking through the woods, he would say, "Crouch down, and then close your eyes and just envision a morel mushroom. Just imagine that in your mind, just the shape of it and everything and what it looks like." And then I kid you not, the first time I did this as a kid, I opened my eyes and it was like right there. I'm like, "Oh, what? There's one." Okay. Which it could have been totally set up where he's like, I know they're here. I'm going to do this for him.
Here's what I think. I think there is...
Very Jeff, too.
I think there is something to it, and I'll tell you why. I remember looking for him the first time and being like, I'm not going to find one. Similar thing. I was actually just talking to Tiffany about this the other day. My dad is really, really, really good at finding four-leaf clovers. That's like his thing. His party trick. He like goes out in the yard and finds four-leaf clover. It's his thing. I don't know.
You see him out there with like the super glue, gluing the other one on.
No, and he would tell me when you do it, he would say, look for a square, because everything. Look for a square shape in your mind, because everything is a triangle. And if someone's like, go look for a four-leaf clover, you'd be like, you're not gonna find one.
Right.
But because my dad did, and he told me what to look for, and then I would see him often find them. I believed it was possible. And I think what happens with morels and many other things is like you have so many reasons why they might not be there. The time of year is wrong. It's a little late. It's a little early. It's a little cold. It's a little hot. So it's like very easy to be like, we didn't find any. They're not out yet. You can like really dismiss that when they might be there, but man, you got to look hard. It's like if you didn't know that the Easter egg hunt was going on, you wouldn't be like, man, there's probably a random egg out there with some chocolate in it that's mine. Yeah. But because you know the Easter egg hunt's going on, you're out there like intently looking for one because you believe it's there. And I think the envisioning of it forces that like to the front of your brain, that trick. Yeah. It's like there's a correlation there where it's like, hey, man, it's possible.
Yeah. I mean, it helped me as a kid. Yeah. We would go up north and just find them like crazy. So it's a fun little thing to do if you just walking through the woods, might as well do that. The other
They're
thing,
like darn good eating too. Yeah. As far as mushrooms go.
So that was the other thing, how to cook them. How we always did it was we would soak them in water for a while. We cut them in half, long ways, and then you soak them in water for a while, and you'd be surprised at the amount of dirt and bugs that come out of it because they hide in all the little pockets and pores on it. And just make sure they're nice and clean. Throw them in a pan with butter. Sear them until they're nice and soft.
They flatten out. You wouldn't expect it.
And they look like little gross boogers, but they taste phenomenal. And you also want, another indicator that they're ready is the butter will kind of have like a dark creamy-ish look, or whatever liquid's in there. And then you can just eat them that way. Or you can, unami? Is that a sauce?
I don't know. You're dangerously close to another word, so I don't know where you're headed.
You gotta tell me.
I'm not. I haven't heard that one.
I think
close to it.
I think there's a sauce I was reading about that people like to put on them.
Gochujang?
No.
The punani sauce. Just say it. He's halfway there the whole time. I just helped him along.
I think it's unami. Okay. But I'm not positive. But there's 1,000 different ways to do it, and we do it with grouse, and we do put wine in, cook them with wine, and that's another really good one.
I've always just done the butter because they're so good.
The butter is probably my favorite.
It's a very nutty flavor. Yeah. Very nutty. And
people who don't like mushrooms, if they can go into it with an open mind,
they'll like
that's what opened me up to mushrooms, because as a kid I didn't like the what are the big ones? Portobello?
Yep.
I didn't like those, and then I got into morels as a kid, and I was like, hey, it's not bad, and it opened me up to eating other mushrooms. Well, and now whenever I see a mushroom, I just eat it.
Yeah, all of them. He was freaking out the other day, screaming at the ceiling that it was the sky. I don't know what mushrooms he ate, but he was freaking out. One place I don't think they have morels, though. That's my segue, so you're just going to have to deal with it.
Okay.
So we're doing a bear hunt in Maine, and we were trying to book all the times and stuff like that and the dates, and I realized we were flying in on a Sunday, and our buddy Chuck, who just got a nice turkey, by the way, and he was wearing his Greenway Outdoors shirt when he did it, God bless him. He was like, hey, man, we got to you're booking the days. You got to be careful because you're coming in on a Saturday, and you won't be able to hunt Sunday because they don't have a hunting season or you're not allowed to hunt on Sundays in Maine. And I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous. And I got frustrated, you know, like my immediate snap reaction was like, that's stupid. And then I realized it was coming up to a vote here, and it got voted on, and it was shot down to get rid of it. They want to keep it, that you can't hunt on Sundays. And my first thought is like, that's stupid. You should be able to hunt on Sundays. You should be able to do whatever you want. Like, I hate when the government blah, 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 you know, so on and so forth.
Yep.
But then I did some research on it, and I found out that Maine, unlike Michigan, so Michigan has a ton of public access land. We have so much public land. I mean, tons and tons and tons, hundreds of thousands of acres of land to hunt, and a lot of other states do too. But places like Texas and Maine have very little. Maine has almost none. But the way it works is in Maine is in order for people to be able to hunt, because it's such an important thing to their culture, what they do is anybody that has private land that doesn't post it, it isn't posted every whatever, you can just go on and hunt it.
Yeah.
You don't have to live there or nothing. So, like, let's say you're Ryan Parks and you own 100 acres of property and you don't post it, anybody can go in and hunt your property just like it's theirs. Well, not just like it's theirs, but kind of.
Yeah.
You know, they can go hunt it. So, the reason why that law wasn't put in place originally was for, like, religious reasons and things like that, which is what the people are arguing now to get rid of it. The reason why people want to keep in place is the landowners all got together and they said, hey, if you get rid of that law, I'm going to post my property. Because right now, I'm fine with everyone coming on and hunting our property. Everyone can hunt wherever they want, doesn't matter. But I want to be able to take my kids out on Sundays in the backyard, or I want to be able to go for a hike and not worry about other people being on my property hunting those days on Sundays. So that's my one day to be able to do that.
Interesting.
And if you're going to change the law, then shame on you, because I'm going to post my property then.
And then no one can use it.
Ever. So the idea is, like, the overwhelming thought behind it was, if hunters push this and make it so you can hunt on Sundays, what's likely to happen is a bunch of property will get posted then, because they're like, hey, well, I want to use my property. I want to have at least one day where I don't have people possibly out there
tromping through the woods. Interesting. So
Yeah.
it's like something that sounds strange, but they've grown to love, just given the circumstance of having no public land.
Yeah, my impulse on it was like, hey,
Yeah.
you know,
definitely.
and then, you know, so then it's like, well, what's fair and what's not? And this is kind of what happens is, like, if everything gets if there's no public land left somewhere ever in the United States, let's say we just started selling it off, this is what you're going to see is now decisions are being made on the public, on the private level to the public. And that's the thing is, like, why public lands are so important for access for people that can't afford or don't have that. And, like, I'm a very government hands-off approach person in my politics and just about everything, like, hands-off. In this case, you kind of see where, you know, the landowners, you can see their side. You can also see why the certain people are like, well, I should be able to hunt on Sundays on my own property at least. But then that creates its own level of, you know, difficulty and threading the line. And so it's like one of those things where I, like, really have trouble picking a side.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to agree with it simply from the fact that it was like, well, the people said it. Like, the people said that this is what they want, and they created enough noise for people to be like, okay, yeah, we'll keep no hunting on Sunday because you made enough noise.
Right.
Which means enough people got together and said that what they wanted.
It's their property, right? Like, if they bought it, it's their rules.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of feel like, you know, as far as if they want to have people have access or not, you know what I mean?
Because they do still have the option to post it, so no one can come on.
And I guess it does seem silly to not be able to hunt on Sundays. Like, if it's in the middle of the fall or something like that, it's like it's your property. But at the same point, you also abide by seasons. So you also don't hunt turkeys in July because you're not allowed to.
Right.
You know, so you do follow the rules that way. So I don't know. It's kind of a.
I wonder what the dynamic is like there. Like, if say there's an avid deer hunter who wants to go hunting, it's not like part of his weekend trip would have to be Friday as well versus Sunday because he can't hunt on Sunday. So then he has to call off work.
Yeah, and how much does that hurt hunting in general? You know, as
Interesting.
far as like participation. 'Cause
Right.
people are like, I don't want to go up for a day.
Yeah, right.
Or a half day. Like,
Or
you go
I
up Saturday morning, you get the afternoon hunt, and then you do Sunday morning hunt and then the afternoon hunt. So that's only 3, now down to 1. You know,
Right.
stuff like that. Like you said, it would have to include Friday. I don't know.
And then get taken off work, and the person, I don't have any days left off. I can't go. The boss said no.
Yeah, so that
always logistical.
that hurts hunting, but at the same, I mean, the key is public lands are really important.
Yeah,
Having public lands is important.
Yeah.
You know, because otherwise you end up in this rat race.
And
But you really can't blame the property owners if they're nice enough to let everybody hunt their stuff.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah, I agree.
they should have their own day. You know.
I wonder at this point how a state, other than through donation, would achieve public land.
Like getting more there's a lot of programs put in place now, like public access programs, like private lands that exist, that are the owners and farmers are compensated to allow hunters to come out there by the government, allowing public access on private lands. There's lots of initiatives like that.
Interesting. Okay.
That's a main one right now.
So they may not technically own it, but it's classified as public.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in Michigan.
Interesting.
Yeah, those are things. And people like file with the government, and then they get grant money for it. They get compensated for doing it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think I might do that from my yard.
Ryan, your yard's
My quarter-acre yard.
You lease it out.
Ryan's quarter-acre yard is.
Although, you know what's funny?
Worm
You guys
hunting.
want to rollerblade in our backyard here at the office? You're more than welcome.
I was out there last night. I was trying to hunt a mole down who's been tearing up my yard. And while I was out there...
You've like immediately, as a homeowner, become like an ornery old man.
I know.
Like the projects he's doing every
I
day.
think it's fun to take care of the
I'm
yard.
like, do you want to go turkey hunting? He's like, no, I got to fix the grill. I'm
He
like,
gets,
what are
he
you
gets
saying?
the New
Gotta mow
Balance
the lawn.
shoes and starts mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got the New Balance white shoes.
Mhm.
That's Ryan now.
But with my house is in the middle of Fenton, and it's in the city.
Right.
In my backyard, which has a fence around it, there was deer tracks in the backyard.
On that note, there was a few other states being voted on as well, and in some states, I think South Carolina and a few others were actually changing their laws around. So at least allowing some Sundays or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Keep watching that, and it's kind of a weird situation, but that's what happens when you don't have public lands. So public lands are important for everybody.
Agreed.
If you are listening to this podcast, you can actually watch it at Carbon TV, or you can watch it on our YouTube channel. On top of that, obviously, you can also download this on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, everything like that. We have a new podcast every single Friday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In addition to that, we also have a online series called our Huntcast series, which can be found on Carbon TV and YouTube, or go to our website, thegreenoutdoors.com. That's more of our artistic, gritty, raw series that is all online. A little bit more short form, no voiceovers, just the hunt. So go check that out. We have a new ADAD episode that we just released on that. The main TV show itself, if you go to thegreenoutdoors.com and click How to Watch, is found on 15 different platforms now. And on that, you can check out all of our adventures from around the world of the main TV show itself. We just released a California fishing episode from the Channel Islands, which is a super exciting episode. We have a new paddlefish episode coming out soon. In addition to that, check out our how-to video series called the Outdoor Education Series, found on our website, as well as our YouTube channel. We just released How to Pattern Your Gun for Turkey Hunting to get you ready for this season for turkey hunting. We should do something with Morels here soon, Ryan.
Yeah.
Something on that. Yeah, I think that'd be a good move. And I know they're around right now, so now's the time to
Around
make
here
it.
too.
Yep. Check that out. And then also, obviously, we have our podcast every single week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay green.